Good morning and welcome back to the English class. Today let's study a short poem, The Arrow and the Song, page number 101, English Reader 101, The Arrow and the Song, written by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Page number 101. The Arrow, and name of the poem is The Arrow and the Song. So, talking about the poet Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, 1807 1882, was an American poet, translator, and educator. His poems are known for their musicality and for imparting values. Longfellow is especially remembered for his two long poems, namely the Song of Hayawada and Evangeline, the Tale of Acadie, and also for the poem Paul Revere's Ride. He was the first American to translate Dante Alighieri's song narrative poem Divine Comedy from Italian into English. So, Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, born 1807, died 1882. He was an American poet. A translator. Translator is one who translates a work from one language to another. And he was an educator also. And his poems are known for their musicality. Musicality means musical quality. His poems are well known for its musical quality and also for imparting values. So most of his poems have some values or morals in it. And his most famous remembered poems, two long poems, the Song of Hayawada, and Evangeline, a Tale of Acadie. And another poem, Paul Revere's Ride. It's a very famous poem. So he was the first American to translate. He was a translator also. It is already mentioned. So he was the first American to translate Dante's Divine Comedy. Dante Alighieri's long narrative poem, Divine Comedy. So Dante has written this in Italian language, and he translated it from Italian into English. So Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Okay, so here what is the title of the poem is the Arrow and the Song, isn't it? The Arrow and the Song. So what is an arrow? Have you ever seen an arrow? What is the purpose of it? Has anybody got an idea? So you must have seen hawkers selling bow and arrow. So this is the picture of a bow. So most probably you must have seen hawkers selling this bow and arrow. So it's a weapon. Arrow is a weapon. It is used in the olden times, especially by the kings, to defeat their opponents or enemies. It is a very sharp object. Whenever we shoot an arrow, what it goes and hits the objects and cause injury. So that is arrow. So here the poet compares arrow to life. In this poem, the poet compares. He made a comparison here. So he compares the arrow to life. And also he compares the song to feelings. So that is the meaning of these words in this poem. So when we use painful words, it gives an injury to a person's mind. So here arrow is painful words used by human beings. When we use painful words, it gives an injury to a person's mind. Here the poet personifies the weapon arrow to these painful words used by what human beings. And you must have heard the very famous quote, what sped arrow and spoken words will never come back. Have you heard this quote? Sped arrow and spoken words will never come back. വാവിട്ട വാക്കും കൈവിട്ട ആയുധവും നമുക്ക് തിരിച്ചെടുക്കാനായിട്ട് പറ്റില്ല. Sped arrow and spoken words will never come back. Okay, so that is here the poet compares what arrow to painful words used by the people. Okay, by people. So because once it is shot into air, it goes and hits the object. Same thing happens when we use painful words with others. Some people, as we all know, always pass sarcastic comments. Sarcastic means that they always mock others, kaliyaka, use painful words to insult others, sarcastic comments. So there are some people who are literally very happy to cause pain in others by giving such kinds of painful words. But the thing that what it will always remain in that person's heart, in that person's mind. It is very difficult to remove it from their heart, and it causes pain to that particular person. So we have to be very, very careful with our words. So as children, you have to learn this. When we use language, when we use words, we have to be very, very careful. So let's look into the poem. What does the poet say? Okay. So this is the picture of an arrow. So shall we start? I shot an arrow into the air, it fell to earth. I knew not where, for so swiftly it flew, the sight could not follow it in its flight. I breathed a song into the air, it fell to earth. I knew not where, for who has sight so keen and strong that it can follow the flight of song. Long, long afterward, in an oak, I found the arrow still unbroke, and the song from beginning to end I found again the heart of a friend. So let's come back to the what first stanza. So I have already told you that this poem tells us about the impact of words on the lives of others. Impact of words on the lives of others. Okay, so first stanza. I shot an arrow into the air. It fell to earth. I knew not where, for so swiftly it flew the sight, could not follow it in its sight, in its flight. So in the first stanza, the poet tells us how he shot an arrow that flew in the air swiftly. The poet I shot an arrow. The poet shot an arrow into the air. And it went swiftly, it flew swiftly in the air. Swiftly means fastly. Swiftly, fastly. So swiftly it flew. The sight could not follow in its flight. And the poet shot an arrow. However, he is unsure about where it fell on the ground. This is because the arrow went so fast that he could not follow its flight. So the poet shot an arrow into the air and it fell to earth. Then what? But the poet did not know where it had gone because it went so fastly. Even the sight, even his eyes could not follow in its flight. Why? Because it went so swiftly. So here in this stanza, the arrow represents unkind, harsh words or something that can cause destruction in the minds of person. Arrow is a sharp object Our unkind, harsh words are also very sharp. It hit the minds of the people. So, when we use unkind words to others, we cannot tell how it affects that person. What are its consequences? Sometimes it can break somebody's heart. So, when we use harsh, painful words, we cannot judge, we cannot predict how much it affects other person. So, the poet shot an arrow and it fell into the air. It fell to earth. And the poet did not know where it has gone because it went so fastly and the eyes could not follow in its flight. So, when we utter unkind, harsh words to others, we cannot tell where it will go, how much it affects others, what are its consequences. Okay, then so here arrow means the harsh words used by human beings. Then I breathed this song into the air. It fell to earth. It fell to earth. I knew not where, what for who has sight so keen and strong that it can follow the flight of a song. Sight so keen here means eyes so sharp. Sight so keen means eyes. Those who have keen eyesight. That is sight so keen. Okay, so in this stanza, the poet is talking about a song that he sang in the air, into the air. Into the air means into the open wood. So the poet breathed a song, he sang a song, and it fell to earth. It fell to earth means it has reached, it fell into the, it fell to earth. So the poet sang a song and he is not aware where it has reached. Where it has reached. As there is hardly anyone who is keen to follow where the song reaches. Those who have keen eyesight, keen sight can judge where it has gone. Here the song represents that sweet, kind words, pleasing words, or something which is warm and friendly. Good loving words uttered by human beings. Song. Both we can remember about sweet and bitter memories. We will remember. So when the poet sang a song into the air, it fell to earth, and the poet is unsure where it has gone. And for those who has a keen sight can follow the flight of song. He couldn't follow the flight of song because those who have a really good eyesight can follow the flight of a song. And when we utter what sweet loving words, it will remain forever in that person's mind. He never forget those sweet words. So here song means the sweet words uttered by human beings. Okay. Then long afterward in an oak I found the arrow still unbroke, and the song from beginning to end I found in the heart of a friend. So in the last stanza the poet says that when he walked in search of that arrow, and so after many years he went in search of that arrow and song, and he found both of them. Both were what lying undisturbed, still there. And he found the arrow in an oak tree. Oak tree means oak is a large tree that produces small hard fruits called acorns. Oak tree. So he found the arrow in an oak tree, unbroken. Unbroke means unbroken, still unbroken. That is, those words still remain in that person's mind. He cannot forget that harsh words at all. And the song from beginning to end. So he found the song also, where that complete song was in the heart of his dear friend, heart of a dear friend. So people always remember sweet words also. So many years after, the poet went in search of his, that is the consequences of his harsh words and sweet words. So he went in search of these arrow and the song, and he found that arrow still unbroken in an oak tree. That is, those harsh words still remain in a person's mind. Okay, like that, this arrow also still in an oak tree, unbroken. And he found the song from beginning to end. He found a complete song again in the heart of a friend. So those sweet words, his friend remember those sweet words, full sweet song, everything. He remembered everything. So, this poem talks about the fact that words are unbroken. Words are unbroken. Once it is short forever. So, words are unbroken. We sometimes say unkind words, but we may not always see the consequence. We cannot predict the consequence or result of those unkind words. But sometimes we regret, feel sorry for what we said. So sometimes we regret for saying those words, because sometimes they come back to us. So those cruel words come back to us. So our harsh, cruel words remain in the heart forever once we let them out. So when the poet sang a song, it was disappeared. And when the poet went in search of it, he found it undisturbed in the heart of a friend. So it is important that think before you speak, as your words can touch people's heart and can have a great impact on the lives of others. So it could leave a lifelong impact on the person. Thus, the poem represents the impact of hatred in the form of arrow and the permanence of joy in the form of song. So, dear children, remember that you have to be very careful. You have to be very careful we have to be very careful when we use words with your friends, with your family, with your parents, with your siblings, etc. Whenever you use words, you have to be very careful. Always careful. What words and actions have the power to comfort, uplift, and hurt others, that you have to keep in your mind. What words can uplift us, words can comfort us, words can hurt us. So it is in your hand how you use words. So that is the content of the poem. Always careful when we use words. Don't hurt others using harsh, cruel words. Okay, so I'll read the poem once again. I shot an arrow into the air, it fell to earth. I knew not where, for so swiftly it flew, the sight could not follow it in its flight. I breathed a song into the air, it fell to earth. I knew not where, for who has sight so keen and strong that it can follow the flight of song. Long, long afterward, in an oak, I found the arrow, still unbroke, and the song from beginning to end I found again in the heart of a friend. So, students, read the poem many times. and study it well. Okay, no need to by heart it. Read the poem 3 2 times, then you can understand it. Okay, thank you. That's all for today.